Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're zeroing in on something pretty significant from Love Island, USA.
Mhm.
We've got a source here outlining a controversy, one that's really gotten people talking. Our mission really is to unpack a contestant's exit, understand the reactions, both public and maybe internal, and look at the bigger picture for reality TV. Accountability, sensitivity, that sort of thing. Okay, let's get into it.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is just how fast public scrutiny can bring things to light,
Mhm.
especially past stuff, and then push for like immediate action. In an environment like Love Island, which is basically broadcasting almost live, that pressure is intense. We're not just looking at what happened, but maybe why it hit such a nerve with the audience.
Okay, so the specifics. Our source says Sierra Ortega officially left the villa in episode 30. That aired July 6th, 2025. Now, the show's initial line was that she left because of a personal situation. That was the official story. But the information we have suggests it's, well, a bit more complicated than that. The real reason seems tied to an old Instagram post that resurfaced,
Right. And in that post, she'd used a pretty offensive racial slur.
specifically targeting Asians, yeah.
Exactly. And that, understandably, prompted a huge backlash from viewers almost immediately.
So this brings up questions, right, about how these shows handle this stuff. Our source points out this perceived inconsistency viewers flagged.
Yeah. They quickly brought up Yulissa Escobar, another contestant removed earlier in the season. The description then was a similar offense. So people are asking, why the difference in how Sierra's exit was framed.
That's a really key point, that perception of inconsistency. Why do you think that comparison resonated so strongly? Was it just the language used or how the show talked about it?
I think it's a mix of things. First, the slur Sierra used was deeply hurtful to the AAPI community, so the reaction was strong, demanding directness. The personal situation explanation might have felt, to some, like the show was dodging the real issue.
Like trying to manage the PR.
Potentially, yeah. And when you put that next to Ulysses' exit, which seemed maybe more direct about the cause, it feeds that feeling, that sense of maybe a double standard or inconsistent handling.
And this is where the viewer power comes in again.
Absolutely. Our source mentions producers reportedly held like emergency meetings before Sierra's departure was finalized. This wasn't just a casual thing. It really speaks to the intense pressure they felt from the outside, and probably the internal scramble, too.
Trying to figure out the right move ethically, legally, public relations-wise.
Exactly. Balancing damage control with what the audience was demanding.
So, thinking bigger picture now, what does this signal for you, the viewer, and for reality TV generally? Sierra's exit, the whole controversy, it definitely pushed conversations about accountability and racial sensitivity forward again, particularly highlighting anti-Asian racism in this instance. Is this a real shift we're seeing?
I think it has to be. The main takeaway here is just how quickly and powerfully accountability can be demanded now. Social media fuels it. It forces these shows, really forces them to look hard at their vetting, their policies, their past actions, more openly than before.
It's not just about doing the right thing anymore. It's also about the immediate risk, right? Reputational, financial.
Definitely. Viewers aren't just watching passively. They're digging, investigating, holding feet to the fire in real time, sometimes faster than the shows can even react internally.
Wow. So this deep dive, it really highlights more than just one incident. It shows a kind of shift in power, doesn't it? Audience vigilance, social media amplification. It's directly impacting major TV productions as they happen. Which leaves us with, I think, a really provocative thought for you to consider. As more old content keeps surfacing, and it will stand up thwarting it, how are reality shows going to adapt? Their vetting, their contracts, how they respond on air to these pasts that suddenly become present. What does that mean for the whole idea of unscripted TV going forward?